A little over a month ago, I covered the upcoming release of the Nvidia 5070 mobile chips with 12 gigabytes. It's a 12 gigabyte refresh. A lot of news media then, I don't know if they saw my video or what it was, but it kind of exploded and it took off, and a lot of people then started covering it. So that's awesome. So now a lot of people are aware of the fact that there is a 12 gigabyte refresh coming. Uh, I had a community member who's Namu here. Namu is goated. Went through and found all these different SKUs. At that time, it was primarily Lenovo, going through parts, going through PSREF documents, and I covered this product, or covered this revelation for this product, and then everything got nuked. Lenovo took down all their documentation, everything kind of vanished. And I mean, people were thinking, okay, maybe it got removed. That was never the reason why that happened. That happened because now they have existing products on the market, the 5070 8 gigabyte, in models that are purchasable. And we know now that those same models potentially are coming out with the 12 gigabyte refresh, as well as CPU refresh, like the Intel 291HX, for example. So we knew there was a CPU refresh coming, but that's always, one tier up. It's just, some extra oomph on the CPU. But having a full VRAM refresh where we're going from 8 gigabytes to 12 gigabytes is huge. Why? Well, I've already covered this on my channel as well, where I tested multiple different GPUs, and I showed that 8 gigabytes was an actual bottleneck on the 5070 mobile. I use a 5070 mobile laptop right now. I use a Lenovo Legion with the 5070 mobile. Not every game, older games, there's no way really you're going to hit that 12 gigabyte, that 8 gigabyte limitation. But there are modern games, and they're becoming more and more common, where you can hit an 8 gigabyte threshold where you hit that limitation, but the GPU still has more to give. That's the key here. It's the balancing act, right? You never want your GPU, which has this much performance, to be brought down to a VRAM level that is insufficient, right? So if your VRAM is allowing this much, setting and performance, but this is how much your GPU can give, you don't want that GPU to be nerfed, right? You want the GPU to give everything it has. So you need that VRAM to match. That's always been a critical critique of Nvidia. It's always been like that. AMD always traditionally had more VRAM, allowing the GPUs to sing. Whether you use that or not, it wasn't the point. It's the fact that you were not going to hit VRAM bottlenecks. You were going to hit GPU performance bottlenecks. And that feels much better than artificially weakening your GPU. That's what this is solving here. This 5070 is now going to have 12 gigabytes of VRAM, which is huge. It's going to allow you to have more performance in scenarios where you would have been VRAM limited. Not every game, but there are going to be lots of games. So everyone kind of nuked their listings. Everything vanished all of a sudden. And then it was basically a crickets for a month. And people had asked me, are they releasing it? And I was like, yeah, they're releasing it. It's just they don't want people to know about it necessarily because it's going to compete with their own stuff. But now these are coming out, so there's no point in doing that. Nvidia themselves has finally, in the patch notes, admitted or kind of said, announced that, yeah, we do have a 12 gigabyte refresh of the 5070, which is huge. I have a 5060 laptop. I have a 5070 laptop. There's not a big difference in performance between them, maybe 10 to 15%. And technically, they kind of can both be limited by VRAM, but it is much more common on the 5070 because it has that extra performance. Depending on the game, sometimes even 20% higher performance. It depends. But that's where you're actually hitting that performance gap. You're hitting that performance cap because of VRAM. So this is a huge revelation here. It's going to be good for a lot of different scenarios, not so much for professional work. If you're doing video editing, that kind of stuff, it doesn't make as much of a difference as you think. But for gaming, especially if you use mods, anything like that where you're actually going to start saturating that VRAM, it's going to be important. Games like Indiana Jones, games like Pragmata, games like Resident Evil Requiem, these games can perform very well on a 5070, and I can absolutely see VRAM limitations in my testing, and I've tested them a lot. And I own this as my daily driver, so I can absolutely attest we are hitting VRAM limits. So this is huge. So Namu, the goat over here, has went through on the community Discord over here. It's not related to my channel, but it is a community Discord where I am and other people hang out. And he's went through and he's put in a lot of work to figure out what's going on here. So Lenovo, they went through some here, Lenovo Legion 7A. These are some of this is rehashed from they've already had discovered, and I had discovered, and I already covered it in the video. But now, Lenovo put these back out. So we can see here, Lenovo Legion 7, 5070, 12 gigabyte. This was the model. It was Intel, but this is the model that I was like, Intel, give us a 12 gigabyte model of this laptop because it's such a premium laptop. It has the performance. it has all the fixins, and this is something that people are going to want to have for a longer period of time. 115 watt variable, but it is 151. It can sustain that. 5070 at 12 gigabytes VRAM is going to give this thing a lot of legs. It's really nice. So that's the AMD model here. I don't know which is which here. These are probably just refreshes. Here's the Nebula version of it. And you can customize this as well. There's the 5i, which is what I use. I use a 5i, and I don't use a 14th gen. I use a Arrow Lake. So I use, where are you? I know it's coming. Let's go here. Oh, he actually organized it for me. So here we go. So this is more or less what I used. I have the AMD model, but this is the chassis that I have, and I've had the Intel model before with 255HX. We're having the 251HX. We're having the 290HX. Great CPUs, honestly, very good. And they do work in this chassis, to be honest. And now they have the 5070 12 gigabyte. Now they have the 5070 12 gigabyte. So I have the AMD 350 with the 5070, but it's only 8 gigabytes. And I can absolutely hit VRAM limits on that GPU. These are actually more powerful CPUs even on top of that. So there's even more performance to be had now in these laptops here. These are coming out in black. They might be coming out in white. I'm not too sure. It's still kind of just popping up, but you can see here, 5070 12 gigabyte. These are, the pre-cooked units, but you can also customize them yourself. There's the 5A, there's the AMD variant here, which does actually come in white. It's also, the 15-inch model as well. They bumped up the screen size slightly. It's 15.3. I don't know where it is in here, but it is 15.3. Oh, there it is, 15.3. It's actually a chassis redesign too. I didn't realize that, but the chassis is actually different. It doesn't have as much of a bum. My laptop is it's in the other room, but doesn't have as much of a bum, but we'll see. I would love to bring one of these in. Hopefully Lenovo will send me a loaner. Intel or AMD, it doesn't matter. With the 5070 12 gigabyte, that would be huge. LOQ is even getting it. This is huge, right? The LOQ or lock. These are, more budget friendly, and they've done a lot this year where they've actually increased them to have 100% sRGB, which is critical in my opinion. You're getting good colors here. 17-inch and the 15-inch both have good screens now, and you're getting, the 5070 right there. It's awesome. The HX model here, 5070. These are just some of them. I'll just show you. The Yoga 9i Pro Panther Lake. This is the real MacBook competitor. Probably the nicest Windows laptop that you can buy if you're looking for like a hybrid style device with, amazing screen, amazing build quality, amazing speakers, all that kind of stuff. I haven't done the 2026 model yet, but previously they were, and if anything, these have got better. 5070 12 gigabytes, huge. And then of course you get the Panther Lake, which gives you the CPU performance and the battery life. This is not the one that has the big iGPU, but it doesn't matter. You have a 5070. Awesome. You're also getting it on the littler one, which is the one that I'm most interested in, from Lenovo, probably outside of the Legion. This is a lovely laptop. I almost bought this with a 5070 for a 5060. I almost bought it with the 5060, and then I was like, wait, I'm the one who knows the 5070 Ti's or the 5070 12 gigabytes are coming. So I was like, oh, let's hold off. So I actually canceled my order, which is probably why Lenovo didn't want people to make these videos ahead of time, because this is the one that I'm interested in here on top of the Legions. And it's not just Lenovo. These are just some of the Lenovo stuff they went through. ROG from Asus, the big guy, at least, the Strix. I don't know about the other ones, but we can come down here. Big boy CPUs, 5060, 5070, 12 gigabyte. So this is not just a Lenovo thing. They just put out their PSREF documents very early, so we were able to catch this earlier as a result because they did that. So we can see that there. LOQ, 15-inch apparently is getting it too. This is all NAMU research, and they've been telling me, make the video, make the video. I was like, all right, fine, I'll make the video. Here's the Gigabyte Aero X16. I have a Gigabyte Aero X16 right now on my table. I'm reviewing it. It does not have a 5070 12 gigabyte. It has a 5070. I literally just bought it. It's the previous generation though, so it has the AMD 350 and it has a 5070 8 gigabyte. But the interesting thing about this is this actually makes my video more interesting because I have this model here, and so I can talk about it in my video. I can say, well, I have the 8 gigabyte model, and I can show the performance. And I can say, well, if we had this one, if I had this, it would unlock that VRAM. So I'm gonna be able to show that. So this review is coming, by the way, just not the 12 gigabyte. This is my luck. I buy things. I got it for a good price. Really good price. Gigabyte had a really good price, so I bought it. But just be aware of that. Framework, we already know. We already know the framework 16 Pro. It comes with the 5070 module. I think these were the first people to formalize it. Lenovo had their documentation out way earlier, but it was they actually pulled it back. Whereas framework a few days ago was just yeah, we're just doing it here. So you get, as long as you get the 370, then you unlock the module here, the 5070. Yeah. It's expensive, but I mean, it is what it is, right? So you get in there and you unlock the module there. It's actually not as, someone was saying it was like, oh, that's the 8 GB. Okay, I was gonna say someone was saying it was more. So they have the original 8 GB, and then if you pay more, you get the 12 GB. It's pretty expensive from Framework, but I mean, it's a different type of product. Framework is, you can change them as you go. MSI Crosshair, there's no link for this, but let's see. MSI Crosshair is a nice, more budget friendly. Let's see if they have it on the website. Not sure the source that Namu used for that, but crosshairs are typically pretty good. Raider obviously is like slightly more premium. This is kind of when you start to get into the MSI premium lineup. It looks like it's on the 16-inch. I don't know if they'll put it into the 18-inch, because the 18-inch, then you start to get into 5070 Ti, 5080, 5090, so whatever. Macrevo, which you can't normally buy in the West, but they're pretty common in China, at least in the Eastern markets. And I have had a Macrevo or Macrevo, however you say it. I have had one of them before from the homie Rain from Discord. He sent me his, and I played around with it for a little bit, and they're very nice. They're actually like, they kind of remind me of Lenovo style laptops chassis. XMG, we also have a really hard time getting in Canada and the US. They're a big European brand, Germany and that, and it looks like they're getting them as well. Looks like they're getting them as well here, XMG. So that's really nice. Yeah, looks like they're actually getting it as well. XMG, I'd love to review them, but they're very difficult to get in the West. So that's what we have so far, at least from the homie Namu. Lenovo, like I've already kind of known about them, and they went through and confirmed, like found the new listings of everything. But now we also have Asus. Oh, the G14 as well. I didn't see that. No, my eyes. I guess he didn't have a link for it, but he confirmed it some way. He spent a lot of time researching these things. So if he said that they're coming, then they're coming. I'll put it that way. 8 GB, 8 GB. They found it somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe over here. Anyways, if Namu says it's coming, it's probably coming. Unless, doesn't mean it's coming to every market though. That's the thing. So we have the Macrevo here. These are, Chinese market, maybe some other places, but these are Chinese market laptops. XMG is very much European. These will probably come. I can foresee all of these coming. These will all come here. These are all going to come here. These are all going to come here. These are all going to come here. I believe there's also the ThinkBook 16P. He might have said here somewhere. Oh, here. Yeah, this, my goat. This is my goat. This is like, Lenovo refuses to release the GOAT over here. This is I think the laptop is too good, and it would like nullify their entire lineup, because it's basically take like Yoga 9i Pro and then merge it with the Lenovo Legion, whoosh, and they do like the fusion dance, and then you end up with that laptop, which is essentially the GOAT. And I think that Lenovo is actually too scared to release this in the West, because then it like their whole lineup becomes challenged by that laptop, and it's it's economics. I get why they do it. If they release a laptop that is too good and it really does rope in kind of all these into one, it can kind of screw up their their market segment type stuff. So anyways, that's the laptops there. I just wanted to confirm that, because I've had so many people ask me, these are coming. I covered this over a month ago saying that they were coming. And I was confident that they were coming, because we had all those PSRF documents. That's the 5070. This is huge news. Normally I don't care, like I'm not a news guy, but this is taking something that has been a major concern and criticism from me and from the community as a whole and other reviewers, that the 5070 came with 8 GB, where so did the 5050, which is crazy. 5050, 5060, 5070, all 12 GB. And there's a huge power gap between the top and the bottom there. Now we have the 12 GB unlock, which is basically like the Elder Guru like potential unlock, where it's like, and Krillin and Gohan have their power unlocked, and it's like all of a sudden 22,000 power level. That was always within them. The 5070 always had that within them, and Guru came in and unlocked them. So in this year of crappy news, something good is happening, something that we can actually legitimately be happy about. I'm sure it will be expensive, but that's the way it is. But let's keep an eye out for it and see what's coming on.